one.
Den Alten warm, oder?
10 minutes to start, 10 minutes to start, and 6 minutes to start. The forerunners. The start order is
Tops mit 107 den Sieg für Kimberly Moss.
Dan geeft ze erbij.
Fifth race weekend of the BMW IBSF Bobsleigh and Skeleton World Cup, and we are in Lillehammer in Norway. It's a snowy Friday, Skeleton Day, as we get ready for the second and deciding run of the first women's skeleton race here since 2004. We're celebrating 20 years since we were last here with World Cup racing, 30 years since the Olympic Games were here in 1994. Well, this track has been full of entertainment. Martin Haven and Austin Florian of the USA watching the action in the women's race. And Germany with a clean sweep in the men's podium, also look threatening for the women's race.
Yeah, they're not looking at a sweep of the podium like they were in the men's race, but definitely Hannah is right up in the mix for the overall lead. Right behind that is Mystique, who put down the start record by 300ths of a second and a pretty decent run to be right up in the mix, and only 500ths behind Kim Meilenden's up in first.
I thought of all top three runs, Mystique's looked like it had the most available tidying up room, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, you get that when you outpush everyone by almost a quarter of a second. You've got that leeway to kind of make some mistakes.
Yeah, that extra velocity. But Kim Malmans leading the World Cup race here, and she's not had a World Cup win before. Today might be the big day for the little Belgian. So we had a start record, we had a track record in the first heat. Kim Malmans leads by just 500ths. Hannah Neisser could easily win it from there. And then a tie in fourth. Janine Flock, Kimberly Boss not out of medal contention. And I'd say 2600s back, maybe Amelia Coltman might have a shout, 2800s back, maybe too. Katie Eulander, especially with her knowledge and experience, might have a shout. She got a bronze medal in St. Moritz 2 weeks ago, her first World Cup race in over 2 seasons. Katie is back with a bang. Well, 32 sleds started the first heat. The fastest 25 go through into heat 2, and they will go in reverse order, last to fast, as John Morgan used to love saying. So it'll be Anja Unterscheider who goes first. Kimberly Boss there will be among the last to go. She's fourth after the first heat. And Valentina Margalia will have to go some at the start to try and reclaim her start record from Mystique Rowe. I think Mystique will probably accept that if she breaks the start record again, she gives herself a better chance of claiming a win here.
Yeah, there's definitely, we've got some super tight groups up top, in the middle, in the back. There's room for a lot of moving around to happen, and we are going to see some girls hang out in the leaders' backs. We're going to see some girls drop. There's going to be a lot of mixing up this run, especially with the snow coming in. It's going to be a little bit slower, possibly. Yeah. For us, the ice changed a little bit. Second run was a little bit slipperier, so fully expect some changes to happen for this run, and it's going to be some good racing.
Good to see our rookie from the USA, Michelle Tucan, making the field in 22nd spot. Not easy to do in an oversubscribed entry on your very first World Cup appearance when you have one shot, you're in or you're not. First time in a World Cup is always a nervous time. Second heat, race 5 for the Women's Skeleton World Cup. Anja Unterscheider is getting us underway here in Lillehammer in Norway, where some of the youngest sliders are the most experienced because we haven't had a World Cup race here for 2 decades. Martin Haven-Austin, Florian watching the action. 5:44 getaway, exactly what she started in the first heat.
Yeah, and you'll see her, she's got nothing to lose, so all she's going to want to do is just same thing and try to clean up any mistakes she had in the first round, try to go a little bit faster.
And again, she started 30th of 32 sleds, so all of her thinking was get in the second heat, and she just managed to do it. Now she's got a chance to maybe relax and find a bit more pace.
Yeah, and she's going to be setting the pace, see what we're going to be dealing with here in this second run, and we're going to see, she'll give us a gauge whether or not the ice is sped up, slowed down, whichever, or she's got a little bit better looking of a run going on here too, so.
Yeah. Well, she's got that leeway now, is that she can't possibly drop out of contention. All she can do if she tries something different is either remain where she is or potentially get a little quicker. There's Andy Schmidt from the World Cup slider. Andy did compete in the last World Cup race here, or certainly competed here in Lillehammer in World Cup races before 2004. 53.83 compared to 53.94, so whatever she did, it was a good 10th better.
Yeah, and if the ice did in fact slow down this run, she just definitely put down a lot better run, and she might pick off a couple spots. We'll see.
Quite a matte sheen on the ice. You could see there in that slow motion shot with the lights glimmering on it. What's the time now? 3 o'clock. We're going to lose the sun in about an hour. So Anja Unterscheider is our leader. 1 down, 24 to go. And Sarah Rodgick now from the USA. She too making it into the field on limited experience of this track.
Tied with Anja after the first run. Sarah's going to be looking to clean up a few mistakes she made in some key areas. And I know she's going to want some more out of this and really boogie down here.
5:10 first heat, 5:12 second heat. So she lies down. She's got 3,200s in hand over Anja Unterscheider. Now she's got to try and extend that, but a long skid early on is going to cost her speed.
Yeah, a little bit of a runner drop off of 5. It's going to be a little weird mistake. We'll see how that compounds right here. Down on speed, losing a little bit already. If she keeps this clean, she'll be all right. I know she had an issue with 10 first run, she's cleaning that up, letting the sled fly, and we'll see what she can make down here.
Yeah, try not to fight it too much. Guide it rather than wrestle it. She's got her right elbow out, so she's working hard with some steering. Dropping into the red. How close is she going to be? A 10th behind, 1,100s back. 53.94, so that is the tie broken. Came down 53.94 in the first heat, 53.94 in the second heat. The start was a couple of hundred slower. The run was the same time. Interesting to see video overlays. They'll look totally different to each other, won't they?
Yeah, two very different runs. Similar, some just mistakes in different areas. She had a lot going up top and kind of started falling apart just into 6, but she did some good things, but it kind of got away from her in some other sections.
Little late out of 13, taps the wall on the straight. Down to corner 14, with her elbow out there, just trying to
Not my best.
bring the sled around. All right, not every day can be your best day. That's why it's called your best. Anna Fernstedt, coached by Norwegian sliding legend Snorre Pedersen, whose wife Maya, the 2006 Olympic champion, is forerunning here. Oh, Anna nearly popped the groove as she went over the crest there. Had a little wobble going.
5:33, about the same as her first run. She'll be looking to move up some spots and put down a good drive. She had a couple mistakes down through the track, but she can clean those up for sure.
Yeah. Product of the German system originally, slid her first handful of World Cup races in German colours before transferring her allegiance to the Czech Republic. Now one of 2 Czech Republic sliders in the World Cup. A little wild.
Yeah, a little bit loose through that labyrinth section, which kind of ate away at a little bit of her lead, but she's letting the sled go from down there. She's lost quite a bit, and it's going to be tight. She may drop to Anja.
Yeah, second best speed, and there's only 1,100s first to second. She somehow slots in between Anja Unterscheider and Sarah Roderick. Snorre Pedersen. It's been good to come here and see some old sliding friends. Just 100th of a second slower than Sarah Roderick. And so her first heat advantage kept her nose in front.
Got a wild Nick Tucker right there.
Yeah, released from captivity in the commentary booth after talking through the men's race this morning.
Yeah, and this is that middle labyrinth section you saw. Kind of got away from her. Just drop some runners, and there's not a lot you can do there unless you really want to slow down, and it kind of compounded and put her in a bad spot into 10, which is really one of the worst areas to be slow through.
Yeah.
Michelle.
Like we said before, nothing happens in isolation on these tracks. There's no long straights to gather it all up. Michelle Toucan, debutant, made it through in 22nd place, so everything from here is bonus ice time.
Yeah, I know Michelle was just looking to get in that second run. She's going to look into just getting those first World Cup jitters out and move up and have a much better run, and we'll see what she can do.
Okay, how much more relaxed is she? 5:24 first heat, 5:13 second heat. That's a much quicker start.
I'd say that's a little better, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And look at the advantage she's already opening up over Anja Unterscheider. 6200ths of a second in front, and she was only 900ths up on the Austrian in the first run.
She had a little bit of a loose labyrinth section, just like Anna did. She's dropped a little bit of her lead, and she's down on speed. Not a crazy amount, but she is letting the sled fly.
And she needs to, because Anja was the fastest at the bottom. Gap's coming down to 4,800, so she was only 900ths in front. This is a much better looking run. A much looser Michelle Toucan, 1,900ths up, 53.73. There you go, faster at the start, faster down the track.
Yeah, it was a great looking run from Michelle. She should be really stoked with that.
The fist bump there from teammate Sarah.
Yeah, she may pick off a couple sleds here. You never know.
Yep. Well, all the positions are so tight. You know, a big gap here is 1/10 of a second.
Yeah, this down here is kind of fell apart. She had a huge lead going into 12-13. She was letting it fly though, so it could have been worse. Just a little bit of that, and she would have been right up in there, moved up a lot of spots. She is going to pick off a few sleds though. She's going to be stoked with that.
And she was last out of the start shed, so, I mean, how much more nervous?
Thanks for watching, guys.
I think first or last on your World Cup debut have got to be the worst places to be. You know, the whole dressing room opens, empties around her, and she's the last out to try and make the field. No wonder she was a bit tight. Now, Elena Peltmans of Belgium, third out of the start shed, 26th starter, 21st at the bottom of the track.
5:32, about the same, 200s faster than her first run.
But immediately in the red, so her first heat advantage has gone because she started slower than Michelle Toucan.
Yeah, Michelle's pushing faster is definitely going to help her jump up a spot or two. Just depends on how Elena's second run is.
And it's not just in the first 50 meters that extra pace helps, because it carries you all the way down. You're
for sure.
You've got more momentum all the way through.
Especially here. It's a short track, and it goes uphill kind of like after 6, and it can really eat away your time, and you really got to maintain that uphill. Big skid there.
But yeah, she had the best speed, but she's skidded it all the way. I thought she had enough there to take the lead. I'm not sure she does. She doesn't. 600's back.
Yeah, that skid in out of 13-14, that was it right there. She had it if she hadn't had that, but going sideways for 40 meters is really not going to get it for you.
Well, we always say that's how you slow down when you're on skis or on ice skates. The same if you throw a car sideways, it slows down. The runners here aren't quite as sharp as an ice skate, but they sure slow you down anyway.
Yeah, there's that later end. Ooh, she really gets the sled turn, skids it a little bit into 13 because she knows what can happen with that entrance. Manages it well, but kind of overcorrects and breaks the sled into a skid, and that for sure is not fast right there. Whips the sled up into 14, getting that through.
All right, so Elena Peltmans slips a spot behind Michelle Toucan, 5 down, 20 to go, and our debutante from the USA is our leader. 20th after the first of our 2 heats here in Lillehammer, Norway. The first starter of our race, Sarah Schmidt from Switzerland. 13th quickest getaway. She doesn't look like she's got great leg turnover, but she's got good middle of the field speed. 5:24 start.
Yeah, a bit slower, about 800 slower than her first run. She's going to be already behind the ball and really battling back to take over from Michelle. And right there, the tap between 4 and 5 is really not going to do it for you. That's the top of this track where you really want to let the sled go and gain as much speed as you can.
Will maintain her form, keep as aerodynamically neat and tidy as possible, but big looping height.
Yeah, there's a little bit messy. She's gonna let the sled go into some not ideal places, and it's really showing. She's dropping fast. Yeah,
going to drop a couple of spots here at least. 4th place Anna Fernstedt is over a quarter of a second off the lead, and she comes in 3rd place behind Michelle Toucan and Elena Peltmans. Michelle's getting everything. Last out of the changing room, makes the second heat, hanging out in the leader's box.
Yeah, you get to hang out in the leader's box enough, you kind of run out of things to do for the camera. Just got to figure that out the hard way, our first race.
Well, that's why it's easier for bobsleighs to have teammates to goof around with. When you're a skeleton slider, you're on your own.
Yeah, this right here, that was a big time eater right there. You can't really skid sideways or go late into that corner. Yeah, by here the damage was done, but this for sure did not help her cause.
So she slips 2 spots as well behind Elena Peltmans and Michelle Toucan. Another day, another race done. Now, Valentina Margalio had the start record when we began the race this morning. 5:02 for her. Not quite as quick as her previous start, and the 2nd best getaway in the field. But she ended up a loose and untidy 19th place.
Yeah, she's still using that left groove. We'll see if it lets her go early. She's going even later into 1. Really not ideal. Kind of eats up a lot of your speed. Even second best velocity with that, and a 5:12 push. She pushed a whole 1/10 of a second slower.
Yeah. Valentina is not feeling the speed here this weekend. I was talking to her in training, and she said every run she's just inventing more new mistakes.
Yeah, she's definitely not. She's still holding. She's got some decent lines. Probably will take over from Michelle, and she has some wild mistakes down here, but she's got a lot of speed. So.
Well, we know that she can either have medals or really wild mistakes. This looks like neither a medal nor really wild. She'd be disappointed to be so far back down the field, but she does take the lead from Michelle Toucan. So goodbye to Michelle from the leaders box. Valentina Margallo will move in to take up residence for at least the next couple of minutes while we're waiting for our next sled down. Got to be hanging around at the tail end of the top 20. Not ideal.
No, I know she's going to be disappointed with this race. She knows she can get some good results, and she has had some podiums. Just was not her week, not her track, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, not everywhere is, and that's why it's a sport, but yeah, it's tough.
You can see with that late entry into 12, flops out, but manages it well and gets the sled turned and moving through the front of 13, even with the later entry. Really craning up her head and peeking. You can see her to see where she's going into there. Hard to pick up your head with that big helmet.
Yeah. G-forces certainly make your head weigh a lot more. Okay, so Valentina Margallo leads. Next is her teammate Alessia Crippa. Now, she started 5:11 in the first heat. That's actually quicker than Valentina started in the second heat, and there was only 900s between them.
5:08, pretty good push right there.
So she outstarts her teammate by 400s.
I don't know if that happens quite a lot at all.
Not that often.
Yeah.
When she first arrived, Alessia really did have a very quick start, and that's sort of gone away a little bit in the last season or so, but fourth best speed.
Moderately tidy looking run right here. That push should help her. She should take over Valentina unless there's something crazy going on down here. Similar speed to her as well.
Yeah. Very close to Margalio's speed at the bottom. It's going to be...
Yeah, she'll hold it together.
There you go. Now she's starting to open up. Head buried in the ice, not above the ice. Across the line, 4,500s up. That is a very big improvement. 53.20 came down 53.58 in the first heat.
Yeah,
I haven't seen anybody improve 3/10, no matter how sloppy their first run was.
That was a way cleaner run, I will say. And a couple hundreds faster push. That would have put her in 9th first run.
Yep.
Maybe we are seeing a faster track.
Or just a much better caliber run. I mean, a quicker start, and she's absolutely bubbling over that one.
Yeah, much better run. She really let the sled go, especially down here. Took that hit, let the sled move forward.
Well, that's one of the ones where everything you plan to do comes off, and it feels good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really look for those runs.
From Great Britain, we have Tabitha Stucker.
So Tabby Sturker next up, 900s advantage over our current leader, Alessia Crippa, but I think Alessia had just slightly skewed the field with what is the 10th fastest run of the competition so far. So Tabby is going to have to find something pretty special to match that, and so are probably the next 10 remaining sleds.
5:01 push, pretty big push from Tabby. She went from 03 to an 01.
Yep.
Closing in on that start record from Mystique. Maybe we'll even see Mystique break it again.
Could well be. She might need to if she wants to win this race. Tabby Sturker, neat and tidy early on. Corner 6 is going to be key. Not too much early height. Building the lead. Best speed.
Late into 10. This could eat away a little bit of it. But she handles it really well.
We saw in the men's race, the British athletes seem to be a little better at holding the speed in the second run.
Yeah, she had a little bit of a rough 12-13, and that's going to eat away at her speed.
Still holding 3200s. And again, having to paddle a little, 15 into 16, 52.97.
Yeah, the last 3 splits she held, and she was really moving away. She had the potential to move up quite a few spots as she cleaned that bottom up. But still, she might pick off 1 or 2.
Yep, equal 3rd fastest run of the competition so far. 52.97, exactly the time that Hannah Nizer set.
That was a bit better.
Yeah, that was a bit better, Tabs.
Yeah, this huge height off the end of 12, and that early hit and that straightaway puts her deep into the entry of 13. Really makes her work pretty hard to turn that. But she managed it really well, and still she could have even moved up even more.
Yeah, that's another 10th, isn't it?
If not more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So suddenly,
Hi everyone at home, thanks so much for watching, love you all.
seeing slightly more representative runs from our last couple of sliders. Now, what about Liu Qi of China? What's she going to produce? 17th fastest starter, 16th fastest finisher. So pretty much where she started is where she ended up.
Again, she loaded early on that, right on that crest, similar push to the first run. Again, not what you want to see. You want to see that push go a little bit deeper and use that slope to get you down and get you some more velocity.
I wonder if she's just nursing some kind of little injury.
Yeah, hard to say.
Yeah.
A lot of waves in 6.
We've got a bit of a hurry-up season coming up. We've got Sigulda in a weekend's time, so there's no rest. Straight to Latvia and compete again. 3800's back. Now this is going to be ending up pretty much where her first run was, but the last 2 sleds have dramatically improved. Only the 4th best speed.
Yeah, pretty tidy down bottom, but the mistakes up top and the slower push kind of
Please have a
had her potential for that run. But overall, pretty decent. Dropped a couple spots, but
Yeah. 1400 slower than her first heat. So not what she wanted at all. Let's see how she gets up off the sled. If she looks like she's A-OK, maybe she's just decided that she's not accelerating any further over the ramp, but
a little bit of a skid in there. That's going to really be, that's through the middle section of the track where you're going. It's not very steep, and you need every bit of acceleration you can get. Handles this very well. Very few sleds have actually made it through this okay today.
yeah. More mistakes maybe than
Next one
just
up from
the
Great
start. Tabby
Britain,
Sturka leads from
Andrea
Alessia
Harbin,
Gripper and Li
and
Yuxi.
ready,
10
and
sleds
so in the
down,
track.
15 to go. Race 5, BMW IBSF Women's Skeleton World Cup in Lillehammer in Norway. Freya Tarbit, 15th after the first heat. Current leader is her teammate Tabby Sturka. The 2 young British sliders coming up through the ranks together, so they've got good knowledge of this track.
5:07 first run and a 5:12 this run. 500 slower than her first, but see what she can do. Already behind. That just shows how tight the sleds are from this first heat.
Last time out here in Europe Cup, she ended up with a silver and a gold medal. So she's got good recent history on this track.
Good looking 6 and good looking labyrinth. A little skid though and a whip up onto corner 9.
Well, she only had 1100s in hand over Tabitha Sturka, now 2800s back. So this is in no way matching what her teammate did. In fact, this might even be a less tidy run than her first. Feet out everywhere. And 52, 53, 52. So that's getting on for 2/10 slower than her first heat.
Yeah, definitely not what she wanted to drop a couple runs. At least she dropped to her countrywoman, but still not what you want to do.
She drops 2 spots behind Tabby Sturka and Alessia Gripper.
Yeah, Lisa picking up a few as well. Yeah, dropping from height out of 12, and we're seeing a lot of girls get too early into 13 and just get pushed away. Really does not set you up for success off the exit. That was one of the worst ones we've seen, but handled it all right. Definitely took a beating out of that corner, though.
Yeah. Flying off there at 70 miles an hour. There's lots of bruises in this sport. So from Germany, Susanne Kreher is next up, our world champion. Career best results, a pair of silver medals. She's a long way from that territory here this afternoon. Finished in 14th place after the first run.
A 5:21 in the first run. Should be looking to better that. 5:13, quite a bit better.
That is a lot better.
It's hard to say what the track is doing. We've seen a lot of girls go faster and a lot of girls go slower.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just working for some girls and some not for others.
Yeah. But 700's back already on Tabby Sturker.
Yeah, got out pushed by over a 10 still. So
yeah.
She'll be looking to make some up in the next coming corners. It's a pretty clean run so far. But Tabby also had a very clean run.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be, she's gonna have her work cut out for her. She's got the best speed, so she's setting herself up well.
1100's back. This could be very close.
A little bit of a tap.
900's, it's coming back down. Going to be close.
It's going to be enough.
No, I'm not sure it is either. At the line, 700's back. That's the closest we've seen. So she's 700's back in second place. Leslie Cooper, 3200's back in third. I can see Sturker and Kreyer both moving up together. There's a bit of space between the two of them. And Alessia Cooper in third.
Yeah, definitely a much better looking push than her first run. Got a bit more velocity out of it. Definitely helped her, but that just shows you how good of a run Tabby had, and pushing 5:01 helps as well.
Yep, certainly doesn't hurt. And maybe that was the problem with the first heat, that she didn't quite have the speed, Tabby Sturker, and so the lines that she was trying to use weren't really working because she didn't have the velocity for them.
Viele Grüße nach Bernstein.
Okay, so Suzanne Kreyer down and dusted. 13 to go as we get to Canada's Hallie Clark. You saw the difference there, a 0.2 of a second advantage. Each sled now will have more and more in hand over our current leader, Great Britain's Tabby Sturker.
Hallie with a 5:10, 300 slower than her first push. Third fastest velocity too. Hallie had a great velocity out of the first run, and I'd like to see her carry that as far down as she can. She had a little bit messy bottom. Looks like it's going a little bit better so far, and we'll see what she can do.
And she lost half her first heat lead with a slower start.
That's
and that
velocity so far.
Yep.
But late into 10, that's gonna, a lot of height.
Ooh.
Similar mistake that she had first run. She's still got the best speed. One thing Hallie is really good at is letting the sled go no matter what. She's still building speed.
Yeah, creeping away from Tabby Sturker. She'll take the lead. Out of corner 16, across the line by 1900s, 52.98. That is just 100 slower than Tabby Sturker managed. So that is the fourth fastest run of the competition so far. Only Tabby Sturker, Hannah Nizer, Mystique Rowe and Kim Malmans have come down quicker today.
Yeah, that is under the previous track record before today. So Hallie doing a pretty good job. Should be pretty stoked with that.
And like Tabby Sturker, that might move her up a few spots as well.
Yeah, there's that rough line, but watch how relaxed she is and like how the sled just does what it needs to do. And Hallie just lets the sled move forward and lets it go. Doesn't panic, doesn't do anything crazy, and just keeps doing what she needs to do.
Much better.
Get ready at the top.
Well, and she's not wrong. You know, she was 13th quickest in the first heat. She's within 100th of the fastest time in the second heat, and the fourth fastest so far. Xiaodan of China next up. Started 16th, drove herself into 12th place. So let's see if she can find a little bit more in the second heat. She's going to need to stay ahead of Hallie Clark. She only had 300s in hand. She won't start anything like as quick as the Canadian. 5:14, that's much better than her 5:22.
Yeah, 800's faster.
They nearly meet in the middle.
Yeah, we'll see what she does this run, see if she can clean it up or if she has any mistakes. This is a track where margins are tight and it's very tricky, and very little mistakes make huge differences. So you're gonna see a lot of moving around this second run. Down on speed to Hallie.
Top two covered by 1900.
That's
very
gonna
wild.
hurt her. Yeah,
Very wild.
Quite a bit of speed and look for height.
Whoa!
Yep.
Trying to let it fly, but just not getting the line into the corner right. And 14th speed at the line. She's going to sink like a stone down to 7th behind Li Yu Chi, her teammate.
Yeah, there's letting it fly like Hallie did, then there's letting it fly like Zhao Dash.
Yeah.
Is can't let it go too much because it will take control of you, and it will take some big waves and take a lot of speed out.
Yeah, she's beat up after that one.
Yeah, those hits do not feel good here. Yeah, this is kind of where it all started going away. 11 to 12, can't really have that. That is one of your biggest acceleration zones, and it takes all of your speed away.
And such a quick transition. One of the few really quick transitions on the track where you whip from one corner to the next.
Well, it shouldn't be a big transition. It shouldn't be a good whipping transition, I'll tell you that much.
Sure was for her. Yeah.
And the track is clear.
All right, 11 sleds remaining as we get to Jackie Pfeiffer from Winterberg in Germany. BSC Winterberg is her sliding club, and that is the host for the World Championships at the end of February. Well, she won her title, ironically not at home, but in Koenigsee. So let's see if she can put herself into potential World Championship winning form in the next 2 or 3 races.
5:33 matches her first run push time. Again, Jackie's not known for her push, but is one of the better pilots in the field and in the sport.
Like Tina Hermann, wins races despite her start, not because of.
Yeah, it's been a bit of time since she's won a race, but it's not for a lack of driving. She's still one of the better pilots in the field today. Top speed.
2018 Olympic silver medalist. Forget that's now so long ago, it seems.
And still building top speed. We'll see if she can get Hallie. She's going to be close. 1100s. Hallie had a great bottom as well, though.
Kilometre an hour quicker.
It's going to be to the 100th.
Oh, 53.10. Well, 1500's quicker than her first heat, but not enough of an advance to overhaul Hallie Clark. So Hallie Clark remains in the lead. Jackie Pfeiffer, 800s behind her. Well, there'll be a lot of noisy vocal support for Jacka in the Worlds in Winterberg.
Yeah, she got her own theme song there.
Yeah, it's a big fan. It's a while since we've seen her as well. She's been absent from the World Cup for a couple of seasons, full time. But again, you know, she is such a good slider. She does seem to have returned in a happy place. From Jackie Pfeiffer to Tina Hermann. Similarly, not endowed with the fastest start. They were 25th and 26th quickest out of 32, but they came down 10th and 11th.
5:34 first heat and a 34 again in the second. See if Tina can improve. She had a pretty good drive first run and a couple mistakes down low. I know her, and she'll be looking to nitpick those, and that is not going to help her cause going late in the 5 like that.
Big steers going on there. And the drama for her and Jacka is if you don't start, you have to slide perfect. If you've got a lightning start, it allows you to make mistakes and get away with them.
If there's anyone that knows how to drive perfect, it's them.
But look, the gap is absolutely yawning wide. Jacka is only 800s behind Hallie Clark. Tina is nearly 4 tenths back.
Top speed, though.
Yeah. Speed is good, but it's nothing like good enough. She might not even be third here. She's not. She's 5th behind Suzanne Crea. Well, she looked disappointed after the first run with too many mistakes creeping in. It didn't look like there was so much of a drama with the driving. I wonder what she changed on the sled. Maybe changed the rock a little, the setup of the sled between the heats, trying to find a bit more.
Yeah, hard to say. Definitely not a terrible drive, but just when you get out pushed by a few tenths, you got to be perfect, and it just wasn't perfect.
She got the right foot out there and the left knee into the sled. There's a lot of steering going on for an athlete of Tina Hermann's ability. Just didn't quite gel, did it, today?
Yeah, just not her day, not her track.
Yeah. She's watching the replays, just shaking her head. She knows all the mistakes. She knows 10 more that we didn't spot. So next up, Mimi Raneva. Back in the World Cup after missing out on Samarit. She was back home in Canada working.
Pretty good start first run of the 5:09. We'll see if she can better that.
First time on this track, 5:08.
Take it.
But she's enjoying the way it feels. She's a real feel slider, isn't she? I mean, everybody is. You have to feel it. It's a little bit like riding a motorcycle, but her particularly, I think.
Yeah, Mimi's a great pilot. Really has a great touch on the sled and really knows what she's doing. I don't know if she's been here before. Definitely has to spend a lot of time here, but a big skid into 8 is not going to help. Really letting it fly, doing all right. She's probably going to drop to Hallie, though. Speed isn't there, and that late entry to 13 is really going to be slow. Drove it well, though, given that entry.
Still only 500s back, and the speed is a little more representative. 800s first to second. Is she second or third? Third in the line.
Third place.
Yeah, so Jacka and Hallie moving up together. They're only 800s of a second apart.
Well done, Mary.
Hallie so far moving from 13th up to 9th.
Well, 53.20 first heat, 53.20 second heat for Mimi Raneva.
Yeah, Mimi definitely not very happy with that. This is kind of where it all went away right here. It's sideways into 8. Is that labyrinth section that you want to do very little in it, and it'll take away a lot of speed.
Again, the late flop out of 13. All that energy going into the ice instead of pushing you forward.
Yeah.
Well, she's enjoyed the environment here, the track here, but not the result here. Nicole Silveira of Brazil, she was the 4th starter in the field, came out on early ice, a top 8 run. And her advantage over Hallie Clark, 1100s of a second.
Pushed to 27 in the first run. 22, bit of an improvement.
Gaining more and more World Cup level experience, knows most of the tracks pretty well now, having spent a lot of her time early career in North America.
Yeah, she's down right here. She's pretty clean so far, so she's going to be looking to build some speed and start clawing it back in the next coming corners.
No, Richard Bromley, the sled tech for her, and for Kim Maltmans was very disappointed after Samarit's. Thought both girls could have had a much better result, but the setup wasn't right.
Yeah, her middle of the track left a little to be desired. Just a couple mistakes that kind of really...
Super close.
Yeah, Hallie's going to take her over.
Yeah.
It is the current third
53.21.
place.
So 100 of a second slower than we just saw from Mimi Raneva. There's Richard on the right and Anna Mirambel on the left-hand side.
Yeah, just a couple of mistakes to the middle, really into 10. That late entry into 10, she really didn't manage those waves, and it kind of got a hold of her. And right here, you'll see that big peak almost disappears, really comes up and doesn't do enough, and really, I think she goes in about dead late into 11 as well. Yeah, she hit the wall.
Yeah.
Not what you want to do.
Yeah, that's the reverse angle.
Yeah, manage it well to get out of 13, but a lot of damage done right there.
Third place, 1200s back. Mimi Raneva in fourth, 1300s back. Tabby Sturker, 1900s back.
Clear the track
That's
now
the top
for
5
Katie.
covered by less than 2/10 as we get to the veteran Katie Eulander in her 96th, possibly, World Cup start. We're toing and froing over that. Haven't got all the records back to her World Cup debut season. 2004-5 or 3-4, whichever it was.
Katie's still been battling an ankle injury that she got a couple years ago. Still pushing pretty decent and competitively, though, given just about match her first run start time. So she'll be looking to put down a similar run, and she had one big mistake down bottom I know she knew about, and she's going to fix it.
Man, she can drive as well. She's got so much experience of sliding sleds on ice.
Yeah, she knows what she's doing.
1500s back.
4th best speed. Manages that 10 all right, gets into 12, and we'll see if she can fix her mistake.
Speed's coming,
She's coming
second
back
best.
up. Better than her first run, she laced it.
Third in St. Moritz. This is looking like it could be a top 6 finish.
Hallie had
Where's
a
she gonna
perfect
be?
bottom. She's going to have to make it perfect, too.
Cross the line, just 500s back. Whoa, 53.16.
All in all, pretty damn good, Katie.
First heat, 53.16. Second heat, 53.16.
Good run.
It was a
That was
good
a
run.
great run.
528. Down time 53.
Yeah, pretty good run. Not a lot to pick away from that. A couple little mistakes, but she really just let it fly, similar to Hallie, and just like, and made it work.
And look at the style. Watch it. She's a little more heels together than she often is. We'll see with Mystique Rowe when she comes down.
Good job, guys.
Our penultimate slider, that she also has a little bit of a heels apart style, and you just have to, it's like a motorcycle rider again, you have to ride it the way you can ride it. Doesn't matter what anybody else's body does.
If it goes, it goes.
6 to go. Amelia Coltman for Great Britain. 14th best start, 6th at the bottom, and she needs another one of those to challenge for the medals. 2600s off gold.
Yeah, we'll see what she can do. Don't know if she's ever been up here, but pretty similar to her first run. Let's see if she can just do it again. Another one of those sliders that has a lot of runs on this track, not a lot on World Cup. See what she can do, though.
Yeah, it's only Amelia's 8th World Cup start. The 3 British female sliders. She was the first to make her World Cup debut back in Sigulda a couple of seasons ago.
Already back to Hallie.
Yeah, Laura D's not sliding this season. She's back at home, expecting her first child. Looking forward to seeing her return to ice, I think, next season maybe. 400s in it.
Stop the bleeding, but middle into 13. Managed it well, doesn't tap.
All right,
3 back. She's got to be perfect.
This could be a dead heat. It's going to be super close.
close.
At the line.
100th of a second.
And those are the ones that are the killers when you're in the leaders box. Red, 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 red. 100th. Oh, rats.
Has Amelia ever top 10?
Her previous best result, Amelia Coltman, 13th in the season opener in Beijing. It's not just a top 10, it is an enormous PB top 6.
Yeah, she'll be absolutely stoked with that, as you can see. It was a very good run. And not a lot of people have really made that work from 13 to 14. She'll be stoked with that.
Tabby Stoker on the right and Freya Tarbit on the left watching that. And this,
Hi, Mum. Hi, Dad. I love you.
Next one off.
this trio, so super supportive of each other. They've all come up through the same development program at basically the same time. 5 to go. Amelia Coltman leads by less than a whisker from Hallie Clark.
Let's also not forget, Hallie just moved up from 13th to 7th.
And still potentially going. A tie for 4th place. Janine Flock and Kimberly Bos of the Netherlands, a 10th out of the medals. Race number 101 in her World Cup career for Janine. 5:24 start, finds 300s more on the start ramp.
Just look for an absolutely trying to be perfect run from Janine right here. She's going to try to get everything she can and move up.
6 is going to be the big one. Big
A lot of
early
waves.
heights.
Gonna drop her back a little bit and be down on velocity though. Yep.
That first wave is so indicative, isn't it?
Yeah, it really gives you a big tell of what's gonna happen down into that labyrinth. Just traveling more distance, but she brought her speed back already.
She's turning it round. Fastest of all.
Perfect.
This is Janine Flock shooting for the medals.
She's not gonna drop. She's gonna try to pick some people off ahead of her.
What a great run. She was only a 10th out of the medals, 52.99, 53.07 in the first heat. That is the 4th fastest run, 5th fastest run so far. We had a 52.98. Who was that? That was Hallie Clark.
Yeah, great run. I can imagine what it would have been without that big first wave in 6. She was still 7th in velocity, but then brought it right back. She'll pick off a few.
Thanks.
Right there, that big height. We've seen throughout the day, that's been a big time eater and big velocity eater with that speed trap right out of there showing how detrimental that is. But she made the best of it and really did a good job in the bottom of the track.
101 races gives you experience not to panic.
She knows what she's doing.
She thinks that might be enough for a medal. She might be right. Now, here's our World Cup points leader, Kimberly Boss. 2 wins in the last 2 races, a bronze in the race before that. 9th best at the start, 4th at the bottom, tied by Janine Flock.
5.11 first run and a 5.10, slightly better. She had a couple little mistakes down bottom. Know she's going to be looking to fix those.
Early speed is so important. Keep it clean, keep it gentle.
Yeah, there's not a lot of driving to do at the top of this track. That's why it's so important, and the push goes so far.
Looked like a much smoother corner 6 for Kimberly Boss. She doesn't drop behind. She accelerates away now from Janine Flock. 2nd best speed.
That split's incorrect.
Flock was fastest at the bottom. We're going to have to go on to the B timing because it is a little bit...
Let's see what she's got. 2/10 up. 7th best speed, though.
I think she's got enough to hang on. Just about. Janine was so good at the bottom. 600s in it. 52.93. Still not in the medals.
Very close there.
But that is equaling the 2nd fastest run of the first heat. So to win this, you might need a track record.
Yeah, it's looking like the track's speeding up, and it's getting a little bit colder. With the sun going down.
Hello.
Kim felt pretty happy with that run. A little late flop and a bounce.
Again, another example of someone with not necessarily the most perfect lines, but letting it go and letting the sled do its thing. She's always fast, and she always doesn't necessarily look the most defined, but
Another top 6.
But the sled always goes forward, and sled moves downhill, it goes fast.
Another top 6, might be another medal here. 3 to go. Kimberly Boss leads from Janine Flock and Amelia Coltman. Hannah Nizer next up, our Olympic champion, ahead of Jackie Narracott. Hi, Jax. Hi as well to Dr. Don Parsons, I suppose we have to say. And Kimberly Boss, the bronze medalist in Beijing. But this is our Olympic champion. Let's see if she can put herself in amongst the medals here.
Hannah had a great run first run, one of the best given the start differential, but she is probably the best run given the start differential. And she's going to have to do it again and hope for the best. She got 500s faster at the start, though, so that's going to help her cause for sure.
Youth Olympic silver medalist on this track in 2016, but hasn't raced here since that day. 8 long years. Is she going to end up in the medals again?
Pretty tidy run so far.
Oh, it's going to be tight.
Not the best speed, though, but better than Kim had.
Is it enough? Clean
And
out of 13.
right down here.
That's enough. Surely she's going to take the lead from here.
She cleans this, she'll be right up in there, up in the medals.
Hannah Nizer into the medals. And she comes across the line, 52.97, exactly the same time as her first heat.
Don't see that often.
Well, that's happened so many times in the 23 sleds we've had so far. It's ridiculous. About half the field have been within 100th or 2 or exactly the same. Consistency is what keeps you going in this sport.
That's the whole sport right there.
Yep.
Getting that couple hundreds faster push definitely helped her cause as well.
Definitely, especially at this level.
Yeah.
Even, yeah, a whisker like 100th or 2 makes such a difference.
Absolutely. Starting to get dark, though.
There's the exit. That was neat. Just a tiniest little toe tap.
Viele Grüße nach Hause.
So the Youth Olympic silver medalist on this track in 2016, behind Ashley Pittaway of Great Britain.
Speaking of starts, he's the current start record holder at a 4.97. Let's see if she can improve. We've seen a couple girls go faster than the second heat.
Mystique Rowe, 1 World Cup medal, a silver medalist in La Plan. Let's see if she's got what it takes here. 4.98.
Better velocity than her first run, though.
Well, all is possible. She was only 500ths off the lead, but she was only 400ths ahead of Hannah Nizer. 45 hundredths of a second advantage.
She might not have the best drive, but that push is going to carry her quite a long ways, and she can make it down this track.
Still third best speed. Nisa was not the fastest. Flock has been.
Pretty decent drive so far, and she's dropping a little bit, but not a lot.
Ninth best speed. Oh, and takes the hit and a big skid.
Big skid, but lets it go. Down on speed. It's gonna be to the 100.
Should be enough to lead.
It might.
Is it enough for gold?
No.
She drops behind. Hannah Nisa leads with 1 to go.
Yeah, that skid is big.
Is in the medals for the second time in her World Cup career. Only her 5th race. This will be her 2nd World Cup medal.
Good job, Missy. You're in second right now.
But below 10, it all started to get just ahead of her.
Yeah, that's a super late entry into 13. Yeah, this is where it all went away. She had 28 into this, took this tap, but she fought it. She kind of countered out of it, took the hit, and didn't really let it accept, and it just skid the whole way down that straightaway. Pushes you, get that big bump into 14, and you got to work hard not to take that hit into 15.
And that's the experience, isn't it? Is knowing when to drive it and when not to drive it. Now then, Kim Marmons. Let's see if she's got the experience to take her first ever World Cup win in her 59th World Cup start. She's only got to beat the Olympic champion and the Olympic silver medalist on this track, the Youth Olympic silver medalist. 5:07, an even quicker getaway than her first heat.
Third fastest start for the heat. Definitely going to help. Looking nice and tidy so far. Got 3/10 to work with.
And she was neat and tidy in the first heat. On a Bromley sled, only the 14th best speed.
And she's dropping her lead.
Is that right? 2300 still, 1600s, it's going away.
Oh, no.
Speed has vanished. What's happened? Good exit.
Gonna let it go.
Not great.
She's gonna lose it. Oh no.
It is going to be victory here for Hannah Nisa, who took the silver medal in 2016, and Kim drops down to 5th place with a 53.23 slide. Hannah Nisa takes gold, the Olympic champion wins. Mystique Rowe, a 2nd silver medal in her very short World Cup career. And Kimberly Boss, the points leader, adds another bronze to her tally, but a disappointing run to 5th place. It's better than Samarit, but not what Kim Marmons might have wanted.
Hate to see it. Yeah, she was just bleeding speed away the whole time. May have been taking little small skids up top that we just might not have seen, but little mistakes just kind of compounded and really threw it away down the track.
Went from 3/10 up to 1700s back.
Still got to be happy with today. Track record win in the first run of a World Cup.
Hannah Nisa claims victory. Olympic champion, Youth Olympic silver medalist on this track. It's her 2nd career World Cup win, so she now has more World Cup gold medals than Olympic gold medals. There you go. Big day.
About time.
Harsh. So Hannah Nisa, well, it was always possible from where she was in contention. From the 22nd fastest start. The two who beat her in the first heat were in the top 6 starters. She wasn't even in the top 20. Again, this is a track where driving a skeleton sled can reward you in a way that the start does not necessarily lead you to believe. Hannah Nisa from Mystique Rowe and Kimberly Boss. Janine Flock takes 4th from Kim Marmons. First ever top 6 for Amelia Coltman. From Hallie Clark, Katie Eulander, Jackie Pfeiffer, and in 10th place, Nicole Silvera. And Hallie Clark from 13th in the first heat, ending up a remarkable 7th spot. That was a great second heat. And again, I know if you can put 2 of them together, then suddenly you're right at the top of the pile, and that's what Hannah Nisa managed to do. So Hannah Nisa, 52.97 in both heats, and it was that consistency that kept her in the leader's box when Mystique Rowe and Kim Marmons both allowed errors to creep in. dropping to second and third. And congratulations as well to Michelle Toucan, not just making the cut, but a top 20 finish on her World Cup debut. Thanks also to Austin Florian of the USA for his words of wisdom with us. It's a good race from Hannah Neisser. She just held her pace and snatched the gold away from under their noses.
Absolutely, great race to watch. Great tight racing, a lot of moving around. Glad to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you. And on to Sigulda in Latvia. You leaving tonight or tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, there's a bit of a drive to do, so everybody will hit the road tomorrow and get ready for training, I guess, Sunday, or is it Monday in Latvia?
Sunday.
Sunday training. Hannah Neisser, victorious here in Lillehammer. First Skeleton World Cup race since 2004, and that moves her up to 6th in the overall standings. Kimberly Boss continues to lead the World Cup from Kilmarnock's Valentina Margalio, slipping down into 3rd ahead of Tina Herman and Janine Flock. And Mystique Rowe up to 9th place, Suzanne Kreher up to 10th. So we have 4 of our German sliders in the top 10, once more underlining their strength. Hallie Clark moves herself up closer to the top 10 overall as well, with today's result finishing in 7th spot. Well, that is it for Skeleton Day Friday. Hopefully the snow will depart overnight. We should have some clear blue skies for the rest of the weekend. Whatever, will be guaranteed exciting racing here as we get the bobsleighs on track. 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, 0800 GMT, 0300 Eastern. It'll be the start of the Monobob race and the 2-man bobsleigh, 1300 local, 1200 GMT, 0700 Eastern. So for those of you who've been with us today, thank you for joining us. Hopefully have your company tomorrow, where we have lots more exciting racing here in Lillehammer. Until then, goodbye for now.
Good job, guys. Endlich.
I know. Tomorrow's going to be a monitor.
Tomorrow? Yeah. Yeah, okay. No, because he asked me twice if there's anything still. No? Ja, wunderbar. Wonderful. I love Norway. Ja, perfect. Ja, hatte ich schon vergessen, Schatz. Thank you. Das war kein Misstrauen, ich habe ganz genau gedacht. Ja, okay. Ja. Bis morgen. Ich gehe mit Ego gleich mit, ja.
Die Haube.
Ja, wir machen das.
Wir machen das. Macht ja die Kamera sauber.
Decken Sie nur ab.
Ich konnte helfen.